Hello everyone. Since I started this YouTube channel, there was one question that I got multiple times, and that's how do I learn Python? So I decided to share my 5 steps that hopefully would help you, as well as the mistakes that I made along the way. So the first step is related to the first mistake that I made, and that's not having a goal. So the first step is define a goal. When I started, I have heard so many nice things about Python that, first of all, a lot of these amazing companies use it, as well as a lot of these projects that it can be used to build websites, or it can be used for data analytics, and it can be used for software application, and it's great that all of that can be done with Python. But when I started, I would watch a video on how to build a website, and then on this right side of YouTube there's this suggested videos part, and I would get a suggested video for data analytics, and it sounds also nice, so I would click on that and I would watch some videos, and then later on I would get some suggestion for creating robots or Raspberry Pi, so I would continue with that, and I thought that I'm spending time to learn Python. In fact, I was wasting time, because at the end I didn't know how to create websites, I didn't know how to write a software application or create a robot, but I did spend the time. Well, I didn't. So I didn't know where I was going, so that's why I didn't get anywhere. So first of all, make sure that you have a goal. And if you say, well, what if I want to do all these things? That's fine, you can, but make sure that you learn them one by one. Otherwise, it would be less efficient and it would take you more time. So define a goal. The second step is have a clear plan. How do you get to achieve that goal? First, you need to have good resources. And if you're a person who learns easier or faster or more efficient by having a book in front, that's fine. That's your journey. You get to choose your own resources. If you're someone who learns by videos, it's also fine. Just find the right resource that suits you. And if you're a beginner, I would not advise you to pay for videos. There's so much free content out there, either on YouTube or Udemy. So just find whatever resource suits you, stick with that. But make sure that you have a learning schedule. Consistency is key if you want to learn any programming language, including Python. Because let's imagine that there's this amazing course with great reviews and everybody's speaking about it, and you start coding for 2 hours today, and then for a week you're very busy and you just don't have the time, and then late in a week, in 7 days, you continue with the course. Well, a lot of these 2 hours that you spent today is already forgotten. You need to go back and rewatch those videos or read those chapters, and you don't want to waste time. So consistency again is key. Make sure that you have a schedule. If it's a 1 hour a day or 20 minutes a day, or if you want to have a target to have 30 hours a month, whatever it is, just make sure that you have a clear plan that involves the right resources and the schedule that again works for you. There's no right or wrong in this case, but you have to be consistent. Step 3, and this is something that I've seen a lot of people not doing right. A lot of people think that just by watching the videos, they would learn the programming language. That's not fully true, because the most of the learning happens when you get an error and that you need to Google and visit a few websites to understand why you got that error in the first place. If you want to learn just by reading a book or following videos, it's the same as if you want to become, a marathon runner just by watching marathon runners run. If that happens, then please let me know in the comment section, but I doubt it, because you need to do the work, you need to put the hours. If you will become a marathon runner only if you do the running. If you want to become anything, you need to put hours work. Same if you want to learn Python, you need to write the code. Step 4, you did put the time aside and you have the right resource, but it has to be an uninterrupted free time that is spent on those resources, because it has to be time without any phone calls or without any social media interaction. The phone either put on silent or put it away, because if that's not the case, maybe you think that you code for an hour, but you don't. Either that, or you're not as focused as you would have been if all these distractions weren't there in the first place. So make sure that the time that you spend is uninterrupted. Lastly, you need to track progress and review, because otherwise you might be living in a lie that you're making progress and you're spending all this time, and in fact you're wasting it. So if you had a goal to spend 1 hour a day, 5 days a week, so 5 hours a week, at the end of the week, take a look at the 7 days. How much did you spend? Was it 4 hours, 5 hours? Was it 6 hours? If it's more, amazing. If it was less, well, what can you do to change that for the next week? But it could also be that after a week or after a month, you realize, well, I spent this time to learn how to create websites, but I don't enjoy it so much, and I just don't see myself doing that in the long run. That's also fine. You don't have to force anything. That's not the goal. So you can always pivot to do something else. It could be a different programming language. It could be the same programming language, but in a different area. But in order for that to happen, you need to have a self-reflection. So you need to reflect on your journey, because it's your journey, and you're as free as you want to change that journey. But you have to be consistent. You have to follow the right resources. And if you at one point of time figure out that the videos that you're following are going very fast or very slow, that's not maybe the right resource for you. So just make the right change and continue. And I hope that this helps you. Of course, any questions or comments, leave them in the comment section below, and I'll see you in the next video.